Welcome to our deep dive today.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at this article called Father Jose Maria's Mission, Bringing Soy-Based Protein to Venezuela's Slums.
Right.
It's all about food security and innovation in Venezuela.
Yeah.
But more than that, I think it's about resilience,
Mm-hmm.
like how people are resilient in the face of these crazy challenges.
Yeah, and it's so fascinating. You have this religious figure
Right.
taking on a practical problem.
Yeah.
And the solution that he's come up with is really intriguing.
Yeah, it's not a typical approach you see every day, that's for sure.
Right.
But to really get it,
Yeah.
I think we need to understand what's happening in Venezuela.
Absolutely.
So Venezuela is in the middle of this huge economic crisis.
Yeah. The article highlights that the food prices are just soaring.
Wow.
Electricity is super unreliable, which makes storing food really tough.
Oh, right.
And meat, which is such a big part of their diet,
Yeah.
has become a luxury.
It's so interesting how Father Jose Maria steps in.
Yeah.
Not with like a political agenda or trying to get everyone to be vegetarian or anything.
Yeah.
It's all about like, okay, what do people need right now and how can we do that?
He sees people struggling to get enough protein,
Yeah.
and he gets how important meat is in Venezuela, especially their grilling traditions.
Yeah, for sure.
But when you can't keep those traditions going because of the situation,
Right.
you need something else.
And then that's where soy comes in.
Exactly.
It's cheap, it's packed with protein,
Yes.
and you don't need to refrigerate it,
Yeah. Which is essential with all those blackouts.
which is huge over there.
huge.
I mean, just from a practical perspective, but...
And let's not forget the environmental piece of it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Soy production uses way less land and water than meat,
Okay,
fewer greenhouse gas emissions.
that's interesting.
It's this intersection of like what's practical,
Right.
what makes sense, and what's good for the planet.
Yeah. I've also read, though, that growing soy can lead to deforestation.
Yeah.
So is that something to be worried about here?
I mean, it's a valid concern,
Yeah.
but the article is really focused on this community in Venezuela,
Okay.
not so much on the worldwide picture of soy.
Gotcha.
The main thing here is how they're adapting soy to Venezuelan food.
Which is where Chef Kareem comes in, right?
Exactly.
It's cool how he's not ditching all the traditional dishes.
Yeah.
He's finding ways to use soy, but still respecting what people like to eat.
Yeah. That cultural sensitivity is huge.
Yeah.
That's a major part of why Father Jose Maria is having success.
They talked about that pastel dish.
Yes.
Like a Venezuelan lasagna, but with soy.
Mm-hmm.
But Chef Kareem will still use a little bit of meat.
Yeah, like bacon or pig's trotter.
Is it to boost the flavor?
It's a really smart strategy.
Yeah.
He's not asking people to give up everything they know.
Right.
He's showing them that you can still have good food, even when things are tough.
Yeah. And it's still affordable.
Exactly.
It makes you think that maybe sticking with some familiar tastes
Yeah,
can actually make it easier to accept a change you need to make.
that's a great point.
It's not just the food that Father Jose Maria is thinking about.
Right.
Like he gets around on an electric scooter.
Yes.
It's a small thing, but it says a lot about how he does things.
It really does.
There's this quote from him in the article. He says, "We can't evangelize if the children are not well fed."
Powerful quote.
It seems like for him, there's this link between physical and spiritual well-being.
It's not just about filling stomachs,
Right.
It's about giving people hope and dignity.
Yeah.
He gets that food is more than just fuel.
Right.
It's a way to bring back people's dignity during a crisis.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you have this soy-based lasagna and the electric scooter.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like everything Father Jose Maria does
Mm-hmm.
is about practical sustainability.
It seems to be making a real difference for his community.
Yeah. The article said that tons of people from the church started using soy in their diets
Really?
after they tried Chef Kareem's food.
That's amazing.
It shows how much power community and faith can have
It really does.
when it comes to making positive changes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is a good place to pause and let our listeners think for a bit.
Yeah. Good idea.
What stands out to you about how Father Jose Maria is approaching this problem?
We'll be back in part 2 to dig into some more of this incredible story.
See you then. Welcome back to our deep dive into Father Jose Maria's inspiring work in Venezuela.
Okay.
We were talking about the impact his work is having.
Yeah, it's not just about the food,
Right.
What's amazing is that he doesn't just toss out Venezuelan food traditions.
Right.
He shows that doing things sustainably doesn't mean giving up what you love.
Yeah, we talked about Chef Kareem adapting those dishes,
Mhm.
but the article also talked about how he's teaching local women
Uh-huh.
how to cook with soy.
That's huge.
It's like empowering them to be leaders in their community.
Exactly. It creates a ripple effect.
Yeah.
They share these new skills, so it's not just in the church kitchen.
Right.
It spreads out and helps everyone become more self-sufficient.
That's so important.
Totally.
It's like that saying, give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime.
But here it's more like teach a community to cook with soy.
And you're helping them for generations.
Exactly. It's about making sure they have food and giving them the power to take care of themselves.
Long-term thinking.
Definitely.
It goes back to what we were saying about Father Jose Maria being sensitive to the culture. He gets that you can't just force change on people.
Especially with food.
Yeah, it's so personal.
Like, they figured out the flavors Venezuelans associate with meat.
Oh, like that smoky taste from grilling.
Yeah, and Chef Kareem uses spices and techniques to get that with soy.
So it's not such a big change.
Exactly.
But what about the people who really miss the taste of meat?
Right.
Won't they just think it's a bad imitation?
I mean, there's always that chance.
Yeah.
But the article talked about a lot of people being open to it,
Yeah.
especially when they see how it helps their families and their budgets.
It's all about understanding where people are at, what they need, what they like.
And finding solutions that actually work.
It seems like it's working.
Yeah.
The article talked about people lining up to try Chef Kareem's food at the church.
Wow.
It seems like Father Jose Maria has really tapped into something important.
He's not just giving them food.
Right?
He's addressing their emotional and spiritual needs.
It goes back to that quote, we can't evangelize if the children are not well fed.
Powerful stuff.
It's about so much more than just filling their stomachs.
It's about hope and dignity.
He gets that food is tied to all of that.
Food is more than just calories. You know, it's
Yeah.
about nourishing the whole person.
Mind, body, and soul.
And that's so important when things are tough.
Definitely. It's about creating a sense of community, a place where people feel supported.
Where they belong.
And food can really bring people together.
It's also important to remember that this isn't just about religion.
Right.
The big idea here is recognizing that everyone deserves dignity.
And making sure they have what they need. That's something we can all agree on.
It doesn't matter who you are or what you believe.
It's about making the world a better place.
A fairer place.
But what I like is that this isn't just a feel-good story.
Right.
There are real results.
The article said that the kids in the community are healthier.
Really?
They're more energy. They're not getting sick as much.
It makes a huge difference.
Totally.
Just knowing you have good food to eat.
Especially when everything else is so uncertain.
It gives you hope.
For sure.
It shows what one person with a vision can do.
But it also shows how important it is for everyone to get involved.
It's not just about Father Jose Maria.
It's about everyone working together.
It's proof that people can create change.
Grassroots movements can be really powerful.
They're not waiting for someone else to fix things.
They're doing it themselves.
And inspiring others to do the same.
It's like an antidote to that feeling of helplessness you get.
When you see these big problems,
Even in the worst situations.
there's still hope.
And people who refuse to give up.
It makes you think if they can do it in Venezuela. What about us?
What are we missing?
What are we overlooking?
What problems do we need to solve?
And what new solutions are out there?
Exactly.
We'll explore that in part 3. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our final part of this deep dive into Father Jose Maria's work down in Venezuela.
Okay.
We've seen how he's using soy to tackle food insecurity.
Yeah,
But it's so much bigger than just giving people food, right?
it really is.
It's about giving them dignity, bringing them together, giving them hope
When they need it most.
right when they need it most. And we were just talking about how his way of doing things could be an example for us,
Yeah.
even if our problems are different.
Absolutely.
What got me thinking was,
Yeah.
how often do we just get stuck in our ways?
Oh, totally.
We think there's only one right way to do something.
I do that all the time.
And Father Jose Maria's story is
Yeah.
like a slap in the face saying, hey, wake up,
Yeah.
you know?
He saw a problem, and instead of just accepting it,
He was like, what if?
what if?
What if we can use something we already have? Something everyone can afford
Yeah.
to solve this problem.
And it's interesting. He
Yeah.
didn't just tell everyone what to do.
No, he worked with Chef Kareem.
Right. He wanted to make sure it fit with the culture,
Yeah.
that it tasted good to them.
People have to actually want to eat it.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
got to think about those things.
It has to actually work in the real world.
Exactly.
You know, I never thought I'd be so into soy,
Me neither.
but this is making me look at it differently.
It shows you what you can do if you just think outside the box a little.
Yeah.
See potential where other people just see problems.
We could all use a little bit of that
Totally.
in our own lives.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether it's personal stuff
Mhm.
or trying to make a difference in the world.
I think this story shows us that the best ideas
Yeah,
often come from the places you'd least expect.
right. And it's not always about money or being famous.
It's about wanting to help people.
Yeah, exactly. It's about compassion.
That's a powerful message for everyone listening today.
A call to action.
What can you do
Yeah.
where you are to make a difference?
What kind of creative solutions can you come up with?
Maybe it's something small,
Yeah.
like cutting down on food waste at home,
Maybe it's volunteering at a food bank.
donating to an organization fighting hunger,
Or maybe just having a conversation.
with someone who sees things
A new
differently.
challenge is how you think.
It all makes a difference.
This story proves that even when things are bad,
Mm.
even when you don't have much,
People can still be creative and caring.
and that gives me hope.
Me too.
We can all learn from that.
So remember,
Yeah.
don't underestimate the power of doing something good.
Even if it's small,
Every little bit helps.
it all adds up.
It creates a ripple effect of hope and positive change.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We hope you learned something
And that it gave you some things to think about.
and maybe even inspired you to make a difference.
Until next time.
Keep exploring. Keep asking questions.
Keep diving deep.